podcast with your dumb ass.
All in the knot.
Cool.
Yo, first time ever, the Beats, Bars, and Bourbon Boys are out here in New Orleans in the French Quarter. The Tales of the Cocktails Conference 2023, sitting outside of Aaron Rose. And we got the opportunity to sit down with the legend of Tales of the Cocktail, one of the board members, right?
Correct.
Board of directors. John, and I don't want to butcher your last name. Is it Gakuru? Gakuru. John Gakuru.
Made in Kenya.
Made in Kenya. Yo, listen, so excited to be here. It's your boy Steezo, the homie B Bulls,
O-double.
and my brother said I need to say this. It's the illustrious Beats, Bars, and Bourbon podcast, y'all.
Here we go. Yeah.
We here. Yo, John, man, thank you for taking time out of your busy
Absolute
schedule.
pleasure.
And listen, the first thing that
Great
comes
to
to
meet
mind
you
is
guys.
this shit is a business trip, not a vacation.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like, bro. Everything stacked on top of shit, man, with this schedule over the course of this week, man. How do you do it, bro? 20 years in now, right?
20 years.
Yeah, this is my 20th Tales. I missed the very first one, and I haven't missed one since. I do it. I survived this week because I love this event. I love New Orleans as a host city, and yeah, you just survive. It's beautiful. I schedule everything now carefully. There's a few survival tips for
What's survival tip number one?
Well, you've already ignored it by smashing your drink in like 10 seconds.
Because it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint.
My number one survival, well, there's two. One, stay hydrated. Two, never finish a full drink. I told you that yesterday when you were deep in that old fashioned, and you're like,
Look, he already.
he wasn't listening.
I didn't listen.
So really quickly, just so we can kind of level set with
Yes.
drinking, what are we doing here? You mentioned to us yesterday that there's a rite of passage that we had to experience as first timers at TOTC.
Yeah.
What are we doing here today, John?
So,
this
a couple of
morning.
things. First of all, Tales of the Cocktail has evolved over the years. There are many non-drinking. You don't have to drink alcohol at this thing. So,
Right.
you know, in the culturally where we are today, you do not have to drink alcohol all day, every day when you come to Tales. There are non-alc, low and no options available. That said, coming here to Aaron Rose, which opens at 10 o'clock in the morning every day of Tales, they have a frozen Irish coffee.
Which we're drinking now.
Which we're drinking now.
drinking
Cheers,
now.
guys.
Cheers.
Of course, you finished yours already.
I finished mine. Hey, listen, you called
Gluttonous behavior.
Listen,
King's disease.
you called this breakfast, and now I understand why this is breakfast. I didn't get it at first. I totally get it.
That's it. So, yeah, sorry.
So, John, look, tell our audience who don't know anything about Tales, what is Tales? Like,
Tales of the Cocktail, it's many different things, but this particular week in July, it's what we call the Tales of the Cocktail Festival. Right? So the festival is put on by the Tales of the Cocktail Foundation, which is a non-profit organization that works to support, inspire, develop, and educate and advance the bar community here in New Orleans and Louisiana and around the world.
Right.
So, as a board of director member, one of the first things I did a couple of years ago was work on the vision and mission of the foundation so that we are always level setting and always coming back to that vision and mission to make sure in our decision-making matrix about are we going to do this or are we going to do that? Are we going to fund this? Are we going to fund that? It must support and come back to our baseline, which is the vision and mission of the foundation.
dope. So, just to piggyback off what you just said, because I did look up that mission statement this morning. So I'm curious, because that's a dope mission statement. What are some tangible impacts that you can see that you guys have made on the industry?
A great question, and thank you, because Tales of the Cocktail has been a huge part of my life and my career, both personally and professionally. There's a hashtag for Tales, like meet you at Tales, or see you at Tales, or met you at the bar.
Gotcha.
So those are some of the things that tangibly are a benefit of attending this festival every year. One of the main ones. The four of us didn't know each other until this moment, right?
Right.
And now I know already today that we start I don't know where it's going to go, but we start a professional relationship from this point on.
A dope professional one.
So tangible benefits of attending Tales or being a part of the Tales community. You don't even physically need to be here in New Orleans in July. You can participate. Tales has many platforms many things that you can engage with, many opportunities for networking, meeting new people that can help advance your career in this industry. Tales is about moving the profession of bartending, which in America, generally speaking, is considered a skilled industry, a skilled job.
Very skilled.
In many parts of
Very
the
skilled.
world, it is still considered an unskilled profession.
Wow.
And so, you know, I'm born and raised in Kenya and England. Very different bar communities in those two countries. One of the things I bring to the board of directors and in helping shape the future direction of Tales is to throw a spotlight on the African bar community in Africa.
Dope.
And
Love it.
You know, that's something that I'm extremely passionate about. These issues are quite often at a macro level. You know, they're at a governmental level. Why is the profession of bartending unskilled? How can we at Tales of the Cocktail support the bar community to elevate from unskilled to skilled so that this is a recognized profession, that those that are in it feel seen, heard, respected, and those that are not look at bartenders and see them, hear them, and respect them.
Listen, let me say this real quick. That's an amazing answer, because it's kind of one that would segue to a two-part question that I have for you, right? So number one of the things I've noticed is when I do speak to those people of color or minorities that are attending these events, they speak to how they appreciate seeing more people of color attending over the years.
Where I was going to go.
Right, so when we spoke about tangible benefits, clearly the impact is seeing more of us here at these events, right? So that was more kind of a comment back to what you said.
That was a statement.
But the question is this. You just spoke about you in Africa, in England, well-traveled around the world, and you spoke about being recognized or more or less unrecognized in Africa or everywhere else as an unskilled position. What are some of the unique cultural nuances in the spirits world that you've seen over the years across the world when it comes to the spirits community?
A lot. First of all, Tales of the Cocktail, over the years that I've been involved, the shift, like if we go back 20 years, when I first started coming to Tales, that kaleidoscope of colors, you know, from BIPOC and LGBT communities was not a constituent member.
Wasn't
of
present.
this,
Wasn't present. Wow.
So hosting in New Orleans adds a flavor of this city. So you can't help but not get involved in the best of ways. And so for what I have learned in my journey, so I can only speak to myself, is it's very easy for the developed world, in inverted commas, to deliver what we think other communities need. What shifted, certainly in the last 3 or 4 years, with Tales of the Cocktail and the bar community itself, is that narrative. Instead, we are inviting members of those countries and communities to attend and tell us what is actually needed, rather than ask his freedom or his democracy. I'm being facetious, but it's really important that the voices of those communities participate in Tales, either physically here in New Orleans in July, or digitally, and in any one of the platforms and opportunities to connect with the foundation. The foundation's mission is to listen and learn, and then advance, support, and educate.
Listen, learn, and act.
Yeah.
Super, 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 super sexy here in NOLA. Have you guys, in that span of 20 years, thought about maybe taking it somewhere else, or is this the stomping grounds and the grounds for it, where it's just going to be?
Thank you. Beautiful question. First of all, it's clear this is your first Tales. No, I'm kidding.
Slow down.
Great question. So, Tales of the Cocktail, this is the spiritual, metaphorical, cultural, actual home.
Got you.
Tales of the Cocktail's DNA is in every brick and bar and tarmac street of this city. July is possibly the worst month to even consider coming to New Orleans.
Right.
However, Tales of the Cocktail Foundation specifically picks July because it is the lowest ebb, like it's the lowest bit of the season for our community here, for the hospitality community.
Really?
So in 2022, Tales of the Cocktail with the City of New Orleans, the government of Louisiana and the City of New Orleans did an economic impact study.
Okay.
So what is the positive economic impact for Tales of the Cocktail in New Orleans in July? New Orleans, Tales touched 25,000 people last July, and we're looking to put 10 or 15% on that this year. It was a positive.
I think y'all did it.
Yes, but we can only speak to the facts, and I can't do that yet.
Okay.
Give us a couple of months, we'll have the facts about this one. But yeah, so last year it was a positive economic impact for the hospitality industry to the tune of $21.9 million in the lowest ebb of the hospitality season in New Orleans. It's hot. It is humid. Like you can feel.
And you're drinking.
Yeah. Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
There are many no and low options.
That should be the Tales of the Cocktail slogan on the T-shirt. Stay hydrated.
It is. Stay hydrated. Never finish a drink.
Never finish a drink.
I want to pivot a bit, right? Because from being here this week, it seems to me that like bartenders and cocktail curators are kind of like the star of the show in Tales. And you got a huge spotlight on them.
Yes.
So from your perspective, so I often wonder this, what is that special sauce that makes a good bartender a good bartender?
Oh my gosh.
That's a layered question.
It is.
How long we got? Okay, so let me get my words right, because it's really important to me. You know, like I've been in this industry for 25 years. I've been a bartender. I started out at TGI Fridays in England.
Wow.
You know, I worked
Fucking TGI Fridays in England.
Yeah. Yes, chef.
Fish and chips? All right.
Bacon cheeseburger, you must know. Loaded skins. Shit. You didn't have to, but you did anyway.
Loaded skins.
His brain reverted back to that job.
Yeah.
Just like that.
I got you, man. You want a June bug, Long Island iced tea? So I started, my first shift as a bartender was on my 18th birthday at university in the south of England, in a TGI Fridays. From there, you know, I bounced around the world, and I've worked hard to go from mediocre to good to the best I can be. And again, that's subjective.
Right.
To answer your question, how do you go from good to great? It's really about the individual and about how they perceive themselves within this industry and within this community. All of the.
Excuse me for a second, fellas. Can y'all step back while we're shooting? No problem. No problem. Thank you.
It's the cameras that give it away. Yeah, you're right.
I like him. I like him.
So, how does a bartender go from good to great? It's about the individual, about how they perceive themselves within the industry, and how they perceive the industry at large. What I mean by that is, are you happy and proud? Are you in this for your career? Do you feel seen, heard, and respected by the people that you work with and for? If the answer is no, no, and no, then do something else, man. Like find another bar, another community where the profession of bartending is loved and respected. Within an environment like that, you will be presented, because the people you work with and for will provide those tools to you. You'll be presented with the tools to go from good to great. What is great? Subjective. To me, it's about carrying yourself with humility and confidence. The humility comes from experience, the confidence comes from education, and if you've got those tools in your toolkit, you will carry yourself in a way that others look and you go, I want to sit across a bar from that guy or that girl or that person, you know. And when you say, there's so many bartenders here this week, and I'm sure you've bumped into some of them, and you're like, where do you work? I want to just come chill at your bar.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
the definition.
It's crazy that you might be the 8th or 9th, 10th person who've told us that they started as a server in a chain restaurant, who are now like, who jumped the ship to becoming a bartender or some type of master bartender with a distributor or company, and now they're seen. Now they're somebody. They're not just somebody in like a silent light, but a larger light. And it's amazing. Like, it's almost like we're hearing this story over and over and over and over and over. That's a great thing to me, because it makes me, as a podcaster, as a bourbon boy, this shit makes me kind of want to be a bartender now, and be called a master curator.
You'd be a great bartender.
I think so, man.
So,
I mean, that shit may have sailed just quietly, but
No, but I wanted
He be getting high off his own supply.
before we jump around, I wanted to speak on that because in recognition of those that are bartenders or mixologists, Spirit Award, right? That's a presentation that happens. Is it tomorrow evening?
tomorrow.
Lynn House, right?
Love Lynn.
So I got the opportunity to meet her yesterday during that Elijah Craig old-fashioned kind of situation, and it was an amazing old-fashioned.
While he was like punching old fashions.
I don't know what the hell he was doing.
Yes, I was. You know it was me.
Pretty sure he was in a corner with his old-fashioned, holding it to make sure nobody else got a sip or
It
something.
had peaches and apples in it. Of course I smashed it.
But, so how big is that for someone that's in that side of the industry to win that award? My understanding is that she's actually going to be is she the speaker or something?
Beautiful question and a beautiful human that Lynn is. She's been a part of my US journey for years and years and years. I love her to bits. But back to me. I wanted Spirited Award. I love it.
Back to you. Back to you.
So good. I love the
That's
Irish
so
coffee's
shady, I
kicking
know,
in.
I'm
The
sorry.
Irish coffee's kicking in.
That was dirty.
Back to me.
I'll bring it back around.
Yeah.
I won an award in 2010 that I'm extremely proud of.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up for John winning in 2010.
Yes, give it up, man.
So, to put it in context for the listener, the Spirited Awards are our industry's version of the Oscars. It is a.
I can imagine.
No,
I can imagine.
I'm telling you, like it really is. The nominations process, the integrity of the Spirited Awards, and how nominees are selected and picked, and top 10s and top 4s, and then eventual winners tomorrow night. The rigorous process that we at Tales of the Cocktail Foundation go through is unbelievable. It makes me extremely proud. So anybody that has won a Spirited Award, shout out to all of y'all that have won a Spirited Award.
Anybody who won one.
100%. It is something to be extremely proud. It's an accolade that we all really feel. Just even the nomination. I know it's so cheesy or corny to say just to be nominated is cool. It is really cool. It's that recognition from your peers, from your contemporaries, from the global drinks industry.
I was going to say this is international. It's not just a U.S. award.
No, and one of the things with the Spirited Awards is we have a US set of awards and then international set of awards.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Because it is important. The US is a huge market. It's the cultural, spiritual, physical home of Tales of the Cocktail. However, the US is quite often very US centric. The World Series is
Well
the
said.
of the world.
Does not. Right.
Well said.
It does not.
Yeah.
It does not.
Only America's invited.
Right.
So with all of that, with the Spirited Awards, it's so important that we have these committees and nominations processes. Also, winning an award is it's really meaningful, and it has massive potential impact on nominees, venues, books,
Right.
products, whatever, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, it has the potential, if you're wishing to positively impact the rest of your working life.
That's
Not a
right.
bad thing to have on a resume.
I don't really, not about that. I don't really know how else to state it.
So if you won the award in, say, 2010, it still holds weight in 23, 24.
He's a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been 20. Essentially, there's 20 winners, right? From that perspective.
If there's an Oscar, if somebody won an Oscar 20 years ago, it's still
carries an incredible
relevant
weight.
today.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
There's a select few of people that have been nominated, to your point, which should be applauded, but B, winning it, right? There's one winner, right, each year. By the way, what did you win for in 2010?
Best International Brand Ambassador.
That's what I'm talking about.
So the nominations process is 100% open. You can actually nominate yourself in a particular category.
Just like these freaking presidents we get over here nominating themselves sometimes, right?
That's a rabbit hole.
We're gonna leave that there.
It's a rabbit hole.
I didn't come on this podcast.
I got-
politics.
I always got to open my mouth. I do it. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
We are live, live and direct. Beats, bars, and bourbon.
Beach bars and
Beach bars and bourbon.
Hip hop and bourbon, baby. Yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh, you're
cool.
fine. You're fine.
Cool.
This, by the way, that minute is one of the things that I love most about this city.
yeah.
You know, like as much as we are recording and it's a thing, and you know, that Tales of the Cocktail and the community is ready to take those interruptions.
Yes,
absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
meet new people and like, you know, fist bump.
Absolutely.
New friend that may or may not.
I love it, man.
Hey, listen, what y'all don't realize is that was live, and we got a live audience.
Yeah, it's essentially a live.
We're out here on the street.
We out here, baby. Sweet. The humidity is hugging us right now in New Orleans.
Which means we love y'all enough to do it and bring it to y'all.
But back to your question about the wide ranging.
So anyone can nominate.
Okay.
You can nominate somebody in a particular category. If you are an author, you can nominate your book, and so on. So the nominations are completely open in round one.
Okay.
From round one, we have committees, Spirited Awards committees, that will then begin to shape and narrow those nominations into recognized. We get time.
Yeah.
Trying to catch one of y'all today.
Okay.
Let him close this and we wrap it up.
I can't help. I'm so engaging. No, I'm.
So listen. So before we leave, or before we
Let him finish this.
So, point is, everything is open. Please, next year, nominate somebody that you love and respect. Nominate a product. Nominate a venue. Nominate an ambassador that has touched you and
where do
made
we
you.
go? Where do we go to nominate?
Tales of the Cocktail Foundation.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, man. It's all online. Yeah, so please, Google Tales of the Cocktail. Get involved. Sign up. Become a member. Find out how to nominate somebody that you love and respect. I want to see Beats, Bars, and Bourbon nominated next year as podcasters and journalists and media folks who are changing the shape and the narrative and the conversation within our bar community from a position of love and respect. And
I know that's right.
That's
man.
why I agreed to do this yesterday, and I couldn't be happier. And
we love you, man. We love you, man. Listen, energy is amazing, man.
Absolutely.
I knew it from the door. He knew it from the door. He knew it from the door. We said, we met the right MFer.
No doubt.
I've known you long enough to know that you can actually say those words.
No question. I don't know why you hold it back right now. But
Sometimes I'm censored.
To your point,
Sometimes I'm censored.
you try to clean
Have another drink.
But to your point, everybody has been so hospitable to us from the beginning, from the initial stages of us registering to get here, to come in here and meeting them in person. Everybody on your team, the media team, everybody.
It embodies hospitality. This entire experience has been an
Wouldn't it be weird if it didn't?
Oh my God.
terrible. And how you invite us here?
It would be devastating.
We wouldn't be here. We'd be over on Bourbon Street.
I'm going to go on the record as to say, every venue that we step foot in down here, we felt like we were a part of the energy and welcoming. We've been here for years when this is just our first year. This will not be our last.
No, not at all.
Absolutely.
And to our audience members, this is a truly amazing, creative, fun event. I mean, the creativity level, we talked about it a little earlier.
Yeah.
Just, we're all creatives here, and you can respect incredible creativity and just the thought that goes into what you guys do.
Yeah.
I do nothing but respect.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
The
that.
venues, man.
I got one word, and I've said it a few times over the last couple of days, but serendipity. I truly feel like every time I come to New Orleans, there's an opportunity for a serendipitous moment. And this is one of those. Like, we talked yesterday because of the schedule is so tight.
Oh my
it's
God.
like, yo, where do we go? And it's like, you know what? Let's do the Elijah Craig old-fashioned thing. Let's find time for it. And we get in there, we meet Hunter, who we've been in contact with over the last 2 months. We meet Gia, we meet John, and here we are in front of Aaron Rose, sitting down interviewing board of director member.
Serendipity.
Wow.
Spirit Award winner.
Wow.
As a brand ambassador. World-renowned legend in the spirits community.
World treasure.
John Gakuru.
John
I got it right that
Gakuru.
time, John.
Yeah, you did.
I got it right that time. Yo,
John the Cool.
I mean, it's pronounced how it's spelled, so.
Yo, I like this one. Yeah.
He's sharp, man.
No. He's the fourth member of the Bourbon.
He is. You can't tell.
Anytime.
Taking you with us.
He's on the road with us, and we're on the road with him.
Listen, sorry, before you close out, I'd love to just say something to the Beats, Bars, and Bourbon audience. We haven't even got to Beats in this conversation.
That's where I was going.
However, I would say to everybody that is listening or watching, please do get involved, not only with these guys at Beats, Bars, and Bourbon, but please do get involved with Tales of the Cocktail. If you are a bartender, hospitality professional, here, abroad, anywhere, Tales of the Cocktail Foundation is here to support, educate, and advance you personally and professionally. It's not just about let's learn how bourbon's made. It's let's understand how we can take care of one another, how we can be better participants in our community, how we can look after our bodies, how we can have fulfilling lifelong careers, how we can turn this profession into a career, and how we can move. You mentioned, the move from server to bartender to brand ambassador to brand owner to entrepreneur to whatever it may be. This is that platform to engage with. Absolutely. All of the tools for you to do whatever you want to do within this industry here and around the world exist within the Tales of the Cocktail Foundation platforms. So please do get involved. And
like you said earlier, you got the who, the what, the where, but the important thing is the why.
Oh my gosh.
Why?
Well said,
yes, thank you. Thanks for
We're closing out with one more, and we out of here. Mr. John, what are you listening to in hip hop? You don't have to give me 3 or 4, just give me one. What's in your headphones? What's on your Spotify? What's on your YouTube? Who are you tapping into hip hop wise?
Whoever's about to roll past.
That bass is amazing right now.
Thank God we're not recording something.
You say whoever's riding by right now.
Yeah. That's the French Quarter and this city. This city vibrates with incredible music and musical energy across genres. So not just hip hop and So if you haven't been to New Orleans, come to New Orleans, check it out. For me personally, there's a couple of. We were talking about it before we started recording. Tribe Called Quest. I love them. They've been a part of my life for years. It's not a conscious decision for me to put R&B or hip hop on, but when it rolls through a playlist or in my car through random Spotify play, I'm always in. I'm never like skipping. I'm like, yes. Spotify just picked up my energy, and that's what I needed to hear when I needed to hear it.
That's right. Musical algorithm.
I do being British, Kenyan British. I have spent a lot of time many years in London. There's an artist called Central C that is just in my headphones quite often.
Okay. Central C.
You just put us on this song.
Central C.
Central C.
Listen, it's not. Hip hop is not the World Series. Huh? The rest of the world is.
The rest of the world is tuned in. Right?
There
The rest of the world
it is.
Facts. So we gonna close it out.
Let's close it out, man.
All right, man. Thank you, brother, for an amazing interview. Amazing interview.
Amazing brother.
And like he said, man.
The quick-witted John Gakuru.
The quick-witted John Gakuru. Hey, look, you got to come down to New Orleans. And you definitely have to come to Tales. Definitely, whether you're an industry insider or just a person who enjoys cocktails and enjoys a good time. This is the place to be. You will not regret it.
Have your running shoes on for all the events that's going on. Put on your best running shoes. Ladies and gents, put on your best running shoes to make these events because they pop off all day long. I call this the Freaknik of bourbon. The Freaknik. I listen to drinks, not all of the crazy stuff.
He's had some.
A few. Yo, stay hydrated and don't finish a full glass. Right?
Brought it back around.
I got Frank.
Bourbon Boyz, we out.
We out, y'all.
And my guy Frank from Miami, man.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Frankie Handy, I'm a follower. And we
Frank's been overserved already.
Frankie,
no doubt about it.
Frankie subscribe to the side too.
So you talked to me about your first cocktail. What was that?
Yeah. So
what bust you?
You turned 18, you turned 21.
Right.
You had your first frozen Irish coffee.
Right. We did.
How was the experience?
Dope, man. We enjoyed it.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage, man. Yeah.
Frankie told me I was bullshitting because I didn't have Jameson in my shit.
No.
He told me I'm a bullshit.
No.
He said we can throw real train.
That's what he said.
Throw Basil Hayden's in there. You're jumping.
I'm jumping the gun.
You jump with a gun, man.
You
Listen,
can throw Basil Hayden. He didn't make for me. I'm sorry. Man.
we talking about reinforcement or contrast.
Beats, bars, and bourbon. The podcast with your dumb ass.
All in the knot.
Cool.